Welcome to this session. So we are in the unit 4, display orientation. How we have to appear. The smartphone's key feature is nothing but different orientations of your mobile. So they are in portrait mode or landscape mode. So in this we are going with the adapting of display orientation. So in that adapting of display orientation, we have to apply the screen. That means we have to perform a screen orientation to landscape mode to portrait mode. So what are the different observations we have to perform? And next thing is managing the changes to screen orientation. So we have to perform different screen orientation changes. That means if your content is missed, that your user interface is having a one of the edit text. If that edit text is not having a ID property, so that the content whatever if you are presented in this one is to be disappeared. So we are losing that information. How we have to collect that information? So if your information is in a small amount, we are using a sum of the method. If the information is in a large amount, that means we are using a different methods, and that is a concept we are seeing in the 4.2 and utilizing a action bar. So what is this utilization of action bar? So whenever you are observing any application, any activity, so the activity is up top of the activity is contains a action bar. So what is the action bar? Is nothing but containing of menu items and along with activity title and activity icon. So that how we have to develop the adding of action items to the action bar and customizing the action items to the application icon. So when you are seeing with the adding of action items to the action bar, so defaultly it will contains the action bar is contains application activity title and activity icon. But instead of these, but along with the activity icon and activity title, we have to add a different things. We have to add a different things. That means different menu items are added to your action bar. How it is to be possible is nothing but we are having a menu is to be created, and from that menu we have to create a different menu items, and along with we have to select a menu item. We have to perform a on option selected. So in that we have to display a menu choice. So that we have to perform a different menu item. That means we are clicking on the different menus. We have to perform a different actions. So that is a previous class we are explained this adding action items. So in this class we are seeing with them customizing of action items and application icon. So how we have to customize the action items is nothing but like this. So while you are observing this window, so what is this window is having? So the first one is this is a one activity. So in that activity icon is to be appeared and activity title is to be appeared, and along with that in the right side whatever the contents are to be appeared is nothing but those are to be called as action items. So in that action items, so this is item 1, item 2, item 3. So totally action items in this we are having 3 different items are to be appeared. But from these 3 different items, so first of all observe this item number 1. So what is this item number 1 is consisting of application icon for that item 1 and name of that item. So while in the previous example, that means in the previous class we are seeing that adding a menu item. So that means adding a item to the action bar. So the icon will be appeared. It will not appear the text. It will not appear the item name in the action bar. But in this we are seeing customization of action bar is nothing but how we have to develop this one. How the item will be appeared on that action bar. So for this item will be appeared on this action bar, we have to write a code like this. So in the previous we are having a menu choice. We are having a on create options. So in that options we are creating a one of the menu. So menu item. So menu1 is a menu item 1. So in that menu item we have to add to the menu. So menu dot adding of. So this one is a group ID. So what is a group? 0th group. This is a item ID. To identify menu1 is selected. so that we have to identify the item ID. And next thing is we are having in this group ID, what is the order ID? What is the place we have to add this menu item? So next one is item name. Next one is a menu item name. These things we are already discussed in the previous class. First thing is we are creating one of the objects. So this object is added to your menu with 4 parameters. So what are the 4 parameters? The first one is a group ID, order ID and item ID and item name. So after that we are setting different properties within this menu item. So what are the different properties? In the previously we are seeing is object name dot, that means menu item name dot set icon, that means we have to display a small picture of that image, so that it will be appeared like this, small picture will be appeared. So that picture images are already taken from the drawable images and the image name is IC launcher. After that we are giving a set show as action. So set show as action is nothing but it will appears your icon, it will appears your icon within that action bar or not. So that one is to be specified with this value. If room, so show as action, that means for this menu item, show as action if room, that means it will be appeared to this, it will be displayed if the space is available on that action bar, so that it will be appeared on that action bar. And along with that one, this one is indicate and if room, and along with that menu item dot show as action with text. So with text means it will displace the menu item along with the name. So with text indicate the menu item will be appeared along with the text message. Along with the text message. What is this text message? Is nothing but it will display with the item name. So we are adding a first item. So the icon of that item will be appeared along with the item name. So in that same way, I want to develop a menu item 2. So menu item menu 2. So what is that group ID? 0 and order ID? Item ID is 1. So ID of that each item will be varied. So that ID will be 1 and order ID is 1. Why? Because 0th position is already filled by the MNU1. So that I want to go with the MNU2 and item name is item 2. After that MNU2 dot set icon and next MNU dot set show as action. So same value if room and with text. If the room is available, the item is to be placed and along with the item name. Why? Because we are giving with text. So with text indicate that the item will be appeared in the action bar along with the item name. So what is this item name is item 2. So in the same way item 3 is available. So in this way we have to add the action items along with the names. Icon and names are to be added to your design. So this is one of the customization. So what is the first one is customization. We have to display the action item along with the name. And the second thing is like this. So what is the second thing? We are displaying a enable. So that means we are displaying a home button. That means application icon as clickable option. We are using a application icon as clickable option. So whenever if you are clicking on this one application icon, it will go to the previous activity or the previous one. That means application back activity will be performed. So up to now we are seeing only the application icon is having like this. That means it will only to be shown, only to be appeared. But I want to use it as a clickable option. I want to use it as a clickable option. So how it is to be possible is nothing but, so we have to go with the programming. So in which we have to program for this application is to be clickable is nothing but within the onCreate method. That means within the Java file where you are writing a action bar icon. So within the Java file, within the onCreate method, so the set content view, your main, that means user interface is to be loaded. After that, you have to use the action bar class. You have to use one of the thing as action bar class. So for that action bar class, you have to identify get action bar status. So what is this action bar? The action bar is to be appeared or action bar is to be presented or not. So the action bar status is to be retrieved. That means action bar is to be loaded. So that we have to create a action bar dot set display home up as enable. Set display home up as enable. So that it will enables this one. That means it will enables the application icon as a clickable option. So I am setting a action bar. That means action bar item object. We are setting a one of the property as set display home up as enable. So whenever if you are pressing this one, it will display the home of that activity. It will display the home of the application will be appeared. So in this way, this is a customization tool. So what is the first customization? We have to display the not only the action items icons. We have to display the action items along with the item name. Item 1, item 2. That is a first customization. How we have to perform that one? So we have to within the show as action, we have to specify the along with the if room, we have to specify show as action with text. And the second one is we have to given a home up as enable. So that means we are having to display that. That means the application icon will be a clickable option. So that we have to give in this property. We have to go with the action bar class. In that action bar class, we have to create a one of the object. For that object, we have to give in one of the property as set display home up as enable. So whenever if you are clicking on that application icon, the home of that application will be appeared. So and also it will display one of the message like you clicked on the application icon. So in which way we have to display this one? So how we have to develop this one is nothing but in the menu choice you are using a switch. So in that switch you are going with the IDs of that items. Along with that ID you have to implement one of the case as home. So whenever if you are pressing on that home, it will display one of the message. That means if you are in that case home, you have to write one of the toast. In the toast you are messaging is you are clicked on the application icon. So that if you are clicking on the home, it will be displayed a message like this. In this way we can have to perform the two different types of customizations with the action bar. So assignment for this question. So the first question is write a short note on customizing the action items and application icon. How we have to customize the action items? So the first one is so action items along with the names it will be appeared in the along with the names it will be appeared in the action bar. And the second one is application, that means activity icon will be a clickable option. Will be a clickable option. How we have to develop both these customization. So both these things, that is nothing but a customization of your action bar. And the second one is develop an application for the following output. So you have to create two different applications for these two different outputs. So what is the first one will be observed. So in that also, while you are observing, this is action bar place. So the action bar is to be displayed a different action items. So what are the different action items? So it will display three different action items and along with the icon and name. Along with the icon and name. So that you have to take in your Java file, you have to consider one of the thing is on create options. So how many options they are creating? So in that you have to create a menu. So the menu will contain three different items. So this one is just assume that MNU1, MNU2 and MNU3, that means menu item 3. So three different items. Along with that, so add a group ID and item ID and order ID and along with the name of that item. And not only that one, we have to set a different property as set icon is one of the property and show as action is one of the property. In this show as action, we have to provide if room and with text. So if from and with text. If you are not providing with text, the item name will not be appeared. So develop the application which will contain say 3 items along with the icons and names. This is a example number 1. So develop one applications like this. And the second application, this is a one more activity. That means one more application. So what is this one more application is nothing but it is having a, in that menu it will having a like this. So that means the action bar is not having a any space. The action bar is not having a any space, so that whenever if you are clicking on that, on this, then only the items will be appeared. The item list will be appeared like this. So what is the item list will be appeared? So the first one is move to, change labs, mark important, mute, print, revert auto sizing and report spam. That means you were not having any space, that's why it will be displayed with the 3 dots on the right side of the action bar. So whenever if you are clicking on that 3 dots, it will display a menu. So what is this menu? So item 1 is move to, item 2 is change labs, item 3 is mark important, item 4 is mute, item 5 is print, and next one is revert auto sizing, and next thing is report spam. So that means it will display a different items. So from 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. So whatever it may be. So develop this type of application and this type of application. 2 different applications regarding your action bar. So this is a concept we are discussed in this. So the first thing is how we have to customize the action bar. So I think all of you understand this concept very well. So thank you all.